dreams. They are so important. I can't open the envelope without the...
So in this video, I'm going to be exposing John Cena's Masonic ritual at the Oscars because it was basically a humiliation ritual, as you guys just seen in that video. And if you notice in that video, they showed all of the actors and actresses laughing at him because it was definitely a humiliation ritual. They do these type of rituals because they're evil and they like laughing at humiliation, and they like to get us to be a part of that. The slave owners always want to convert the slave into having their mentality. So that's exactly what they're doing with these rituals. This is why it's not good to watch these shows like the Oscars or the Grammys, because they're always doing a ritual in plain sight. And I'm going to expose this entire ritual because I found so many interesting details. And then I'm also going to be exposing John Cena's 6 other characters on the world stage in this video. So make sure you guys watch this video all the way through. But without further ado, let's get right into it. First thing I want to mention is the fact that this happened on March 10th, 2024. And when you look at that date, it's 3/10 and the 0 has no value. So it's like 31, and 31 backwards is 13. And 13 is a number they use all the time. I talked about that in my previous videos. And here's some pictures from the humiliation ritual that John Cena did. I don't want to show these for too long, but just know that he wasn't actually naked in the video. He was wearing a little bit of clothing to cover up. And as you can see, he's doing the vow of silence right here. And what's really disturbing about this is the fact that they didn't show people that John Cena was actually covered up. You know, they just showed him walking onto the stage like this. So it paints a picture in your mind that he's naked. But in reality, he actually wasn't really naked. So they want people to envision this stuff in their head and assume. This is why it's not good to watch this stuff, because they're attacking your mind psychologically and subliminally. And this should prove to everybody that celebrities are fake, because why would his wife allow him to do something like this? And as a straight man, why would he get on stage in front of a bunch of other men? You know, none of this makes sense. And he's not a straight man, and I'm gonna show that later on in this video. So first, let's break down this entire ritual, because they literally performed a Masonic ritual in plain sight. So as you can see, he's standing in the middle of this circle, and if you look closely by his feet, there's a pentagram at the bottom. And this is the same ritual that A$AP Rocky has a picture doing. You know, this is a common satanic ritual, and with this John Cena situation, they performed it in front of a live audience, and nobody even noticed what was going on because it was very small and subliminal. But as you can see, it's still there in plain sight. The star was right next to his foot, just like in the A$AP Rocky photo. And then later on, Jimmy Kimmel came and he covered him up with this weird robe that is Greek, I believe. And as you can see, it's a similar outfit to the initiation ritual that they do in Freemasonry. As you can see in the Freemason ritual, the left part of his pants is lifted up and his entire left leg is showing. And then you see with the John Cena photo, his left leg is showing as well. And then notice how in the ritual they have a noose around the neck. And since this was in front of a live audience, they did it in a more subliminal way, because John Cena has a similar rope around his waist. And I'll zoom into that right now so you guys can see. And then we also see that in the ritual, they cover up the right part of their chest and leave open the left part, just like with the legs. And that's exactly what John Cena did as well. So they're showing only the left part of their body and covering up the right parts, which is symbolic to double dealing and being a liar. This is why they do the hidden hand, because they're letting you know in plain sight that they have hidden intentions, which are to deceive you. Most people think this is just entertainment, but this is all a ritual being done in front of your eyes. And here's a description of the Freemason rebirth ritual. And as I'm reading this, it should sound very familiar to what happened with John Cena. So in the Freemason rebirth ritual, he enters into the dark room where he is required to remove his clothes in favor of those given to him by his guardian. So if you notice in that video, John Cena was in a dark room and he was required to remove his clothes. Then we see that he exposes his left breast by removing one sleeve of his shirt entirely and rolls up his left pant leg to expose his knee. So the main detail is exposing the knee and the left part of their chest. And that's exactly what John Cena did in his ritual at the Oscars. Then it says, there he waits alone at a table decorated with certain emblems of life and death, like burning candles, salt, bread, and water, and of course, human skulls. After a short while, the terrible brother is sent to fetch the man. So that's a very disturbing ritual that they do, but that's exactly what they did at the Oscars. And if you notice, the entire Oscar ceremony is an ancient Egyptian ritual where they worship these Egyptian deities. Because keep in mind that everything that they're doing right now is not new. It's all recycled. I posted this on my community tab 2 years ago because the Oscar award that they give out is the same statue as Osiris and Ptah, and they call it the Oscar. And if you think about it, Oscar is an anagram for Sarko, and Sarko is the root word in sarcophagus, which is what they used in ancient Egypt. And the word sarcophagus comes from the Greek word sarx, which means flesh, and phagen, meaning to eat. So when you put sarcophagus together, it means flesh eating, because the sarcophagus is a flesh eating stone. So this is all very creepy. People should not be supporting this stuff. And by watching it, you are supporting it. This is why they keep track of the ratings and all that stuff. Because by supporting this stuff, you are worshiping these weird deities that they have recycled from Egypt. You guys can pause this and read it for yourself. But basically, they're worshiping the same ancient Egyptian deities that they were worshiping back in the day. And keep in mind that just like how they're ruling the world right now, they were also ruling the world during ancient Egypt. So this is why I don't vouch for these weird Egyptian idols that they used to worship, because if anything, they had us forced into slavery to worship that stuff. This is why they have ancient Egyptian characters, and I'll be exposing another one very soon. So this explains why they always make it a big deal every single year. If you guys remember 2 years ago, they did a huge ritual with Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. This was also a humiliation ritual, and I talked about this in my Will Smith video and in my Chris Rock video. So go watch those videos after this one. They're hidden from the search, by the way, so if you want to watch them, the link to these videos is in the description below. And this is not the first time that John Cena has done a fruity ritual like this. If you guys remember, last year, he was spotted wearing a short skirt, thigh-high stockings, and heels in Australia. And as you can see, he's wearing makeup right here as well. So this is very disgusting because this is a character that they presented in the WWE as a very masculine guy, you know, and they try to paint that image with him, and then they demasculate him by making him wear this stuff. And that has a psychological effect on the children that watched him. You know, he was promoted to us a lot as kids, and even to this day, kids still love this character, and they think he's masculine, but he's actually not. You know, wrestling is a very fruity sport. If you think about it, they have grown men in thongs grabbing each other and wrestling. You know, that's not straight at all, and kids should not be watching that stuff. So by him being a wrestler, he was already very feminine, but it was very hidden because people just saw it as a sport. But now he's being very open about this feminine agenda that he's pushing onto men. And he was dressing like this for this movie called Ricky Stanicky. And as you can see, he's dressed up like a little girl, which not only is promoting the P word, but also the inverted agenda, because this is a grown man dressed up as a woman. And again, this is not the first time that he's dressed up as a woman. It's just the first time that we've brought it to light, because for some reason, nobody talked about all these other times when he dressed up like a woman. As you can see right here, he's wearing a blonde wig, and he's acting like a woman, and he's dressed up in female clothing. And if you notice, the colors of his clothes are pink, white, and blue, just like the inverted flag. So that should let you know the agenda that he's promoting to other men. If you guys haven't noticed, they're really promoting this inverted agenda because they want men to become women and women to become men so that they can reproduce, because their main objective is to lower the population. But I can't talk about that too much on here. I'll do a separate video on my Patreon where I go more into detail on that entire agenda. So anyways, here's some more times where he dressed up like a woman. Right here, he's wearing another blonde wig. And right here, he's acting very feminine again. And he's wearing a crop top. And then he has this video with this other guy kissing him, and he doesn't even back away. Now let's expose John Cena's other characters. As you can see, John Cena is based off of Jim Carrey. These two characters look exactly alike right here. They have the same mannerisms, and they both have this same goofy smile and look on their face. This one is very easy to see. Most of you guys probably already know about this one because it's very obvious, and I talked about it in the past. So here's some more comparisons of John Cena and Jim Carrey. And the WWE actually admitted this in plain sight on their Facebook. They posted this picture of John Cena and they said John Cena or Jim Carrey. And of course they put a laughing emoji so that people won't take it serious, because this looks exactly like Jim Carrey, but they just want people to laugh it off so that they won't notice what's really going on here, because John Cena looks exactly like Jim Carrey right here. Even their hair is very similar. So here's some more comparisons of John Cena and Jim Carrey. Right here, they look exactly alike. And it's funny because in this picture of John Cena, he looks more like Jim Carrey than Jim Carrey. It's so funny how that happens. And they look exactly alike from the side as well. And of course, these two characters have the same gematria. As you can see, Jim equals 14 and Cena equals 14 in the same cipher. And then Jim matches up with Cena in 3 other ciphers. As you can see, they both equal 14, 22, 59, and 10. And then Jim Carrey's last name, Carrey, matches up with John Cena in 3 ciphers with the numbers 70, 34, and 38. And even their real names are connected as well. So Jim Carrey's real name is James Eugene Carrey. And then John Cena's real name is John Felix Anthony Cena. And as you can see, John Felix Anthony Cena equals 263. And then Jim Carrey's full name also equals 263 in the same cipher. And then Jim Carrey's first name is connected to John Cena because John Cena was born on April 23rd. And Jim Carrey's first name is James, and James equals 23. And then his last name is also connected to John Cena's date of birth because John Cena was born in 1977. And Carrey equals 77. And if you notice, they have the same initials in their name. John Cena is JC and Jim Carrey is also JC. And JC is also recycled from Jesus Christ, who is another character as well that I will be exposing very soon on Patreon, because they're very sensitive about exposing religion on YouTube nowadays. If you guys remember, I exposed every single religion and they deleted my video. So if you guys want to watch that video, the link is in the description. Another connection is the fact that John Cena got famous from the WWE and Jim Carrey's birthday is connected to WWE. As you can see, Jim Carrey was born on January 17th and WWE equals 17 in gematria. And John Cena was a wrestler for the WWE, which is a huge connection because Jim Carrey played the role of Andy Kaufman in a movie, and Andy Kaufman is a wrestler. As you can see, here's a picture of Andy Kaufman wrestling, and here's a picture of Jim Carrey playing the role of Andy Kaufman, and he's wrestling in the ring. And John Cena has admitted multiple times on his Instagram that he's based off of Jim Carrey. As you guys can see, John Cena posted Jim Carrey in 2022, and then he posted Jim Carrey again in 2022, and then he posted this weird picture of Jim Carrey in an elephant suit in 2016, and then he posted this fruity picture of Jim Carrey in 2016. And he loves posting Jim Carrey because he's letting you know in plain sight that his other character is Jim Carrey. And then he posted this picture of Jim Carrey in a skirt in 2019, and then he posted this same photo again in 2021. And I'm not surprised that Jim Carrey has many fruity pictures and videos, because John Cena is a very fruity character as well, and they love pushing that inverted agenda. As you can see, Jim Carrey is dressed up like a woman right here. And right here, he's wearing a blonde wig. And he's acting like a woman because all celebrities are inverted. This is why Jim Carrey looks feminine along with John Cena. So that's a huge connection. The fact that both of these characters have dressed up like a woman. And they both have pictures wearing a blonde wig. And Jim Carrey pushes this agenda a lot. This is why his full name, James Eugene Carrey, matches up with the Transformer agenda. I can't say the word, but you guys know what I'm talking about. They both equal 76 and 95 in the same cipher. And here's some pictures of Jim Carrey kissing another man. And he has this very fruity movie where he's literally dating another man. And as you can see, they're both wearing orange right here, because orange is the only color that equals 33 in gematria, just like masonry. And Jim Carrey loves pushing this inverted agenda because this nasty agenda is a part of the New World Order. This is why Jim Carrey's full name matches up with a New World Order. They both have the same gematria with the numbers 175 and 76. So people should not be supporting Jim Carrey people think he's woke for some reason, but this character is obviously infiltrating and he's controlled opposition because he's promoting this nasty agenda in plain sight. I mean, he has multiple pictures kissing other men, just like John Cena. Here's another time where Jim Carrey kissed another man, just like John Cena. So both of these characters are promoting the fruity agenda. This is why John Cena's full name equals 223, just like this fruity word that I cannot say. And then in 2011, John Cena said, "So it is what it is, fruity or straight." To quote Dwayne, "It doesn't matter." So he's promoting this fruity agenda and he's saying that it doesn't matter if you're straight or not. And if you notice, he made this tweet at 5:08 p.m. and 5 plus 8 is 13. And then the date is 8/5 and 8 plus 5 is 13 again. So you can see that they love using that number 13, especially when they're pushing an agenda. And then John Cena supported this openly fruity wrestler, Darren Young. Then we see that John Cena's full name equals 223, just like Order of the Illuminati in the same cipher. And then John Cena's name also matches up with Skull and Crossbones with the number 223. And Jim Carrey's first name, James, also equals 223 in the satanic cipher. So he matches up with John Cena with the number 223. And 223 is just 322 backwards. And 322 is the Skull and Bones number. And if you notice, John Cena was wearing this short skirt and the heels in 2023. As you can see, this happened on February 10th, 2023. Another connection between Jim Carrey and John Cena is the fact that John Cena was wearing these heels and this skirt for the movie Ricky Stanicky, right? And ironically, in 2013, again the number 13, they had reported that Jim Carrey was given the role to play Ricky Stanicky, but then they changed it and now John Cena played the role of Ricky Stanicky. So what are the chances of that? You know, Jim Carrey was considered to play that role first, but then they gave it to John Cena, and both of them are the same characters. And here's a video of TMZ mocking this, and if you notice, they mention Jim Carrey when they're talking about John Cena.
We got an actor or an actress on a movie set. Look at these legs. Whose legs do you think these belong to? Jim Carrey's in the movie, Zac Efron in the movie.
I'm gonna go with John Cena?
Yes! John Cena in a skirt, and his legs make me so jealous.
So it's very obvious that John Cena is based off of Jim Carrey. This is why when you put a beard and long hair on John Cena, he looks exactly like Jim Carrey. And ironically, this is the same image of the white Jesus that they promote, and Jesus Christ has the same initials as Jim Carrey and John Cena. And keep in mind, Jim Carrey has many other characters on the world stage. I will not be exposing all of them in this video because there's too many. I'm going to make a separate video on Jim Carrey alone because he has so many different characters, and he mocked it with his movie The Mask. So he's subliminally letting you know that he has multiple characters. And I exposed one of his other characters 2 years ago because another one of Jim Carrey's characters is Justin Bieber. And you guys can go watch this video. The link is in the description. Now let's talk about the other character that John Cena is based off of. And shout out to the person in my Patreon that sent me this because I forgot about this one. And if you guys didn't know, we have a group chat on Patreon where we all talk to each other and you guys can send each other stuff. And I really appreciate everyone that joined the Patreon and everyone that sends me stuff in the Patreon group chat. So if you guys want to join the Patreon and the group chat, the link is in the description. But as you can see, John Cena looks exactly like this other guy named Ernest, and Ernest is just his name in these movies that he played. But the funny thing about this is that Ernest's real name is Jim Varney. So what are the chances that John Cena is based off of Jim Carrey and Jim Varney? You know, he's a mixture of both of these two characters, and they put it in plain sight because both of their names are Jim. And again, John Cena admitted this himself subliminally on his Instagram because he posted this picture of Jim Varney in 2019. Now let's move on to the other characters that are in this group of characters because there's so many of them. So if you guys remember, 2 years ago I made this video about John Cena and Mark Wahlberg, and they look exactly alike right here. And again, this video is hidden from the search, so if you want to watch it, the link is in the description. Unfortunately, that's the only way you can watch it. YouTube keeps hiding my videos from the search, which is very annoying. Here's some good comparisons of John Cena and Mark Wahlberg. Right here you can see that they literally have the same smile. And when they were younger, they looked so much alike. They even dressed alike. They looked the most similar when they were younger because they were both rappers. As you can see, they both had rap careers. And they're both from Boston as well. As you can see, they're both supporting the Boston Celtics. So here's some more comparisons of John Cena and Mark Wahlberg. This one is very easy to see. And I already made a video about this, so I won't go too deep into this one. If you guys want more information, go check out my John Cena and Mark Wahlberg video. And all of these characters are the same, by the way. This is why there's comparisons of Jim Carrey and Mark Wahlberg as well. And what's ironic about this is the fact that John Cena posted this same picture of Jim Carrey on the left on his Instagram. And I showed you guys this earlier. And now let's move on to the next character, which is Matt Damon. This one is very obvious because both of these characters are actors in a bunch of action movies. So that's a huge connection. And that's a connection between all of these characters. You know, all of them are actors. Jim Varney's an actor, Jim Carrey's an actor, Mark Wahlberg's an actor, John Cena's an actor, and Matt Damon's an actor. And right here you can see that John Cena and Matt Damon have the same exact eyes. It's crazy how much these two look alike. I think out of all the characters, these two look the most alike because they literally have the same exact eyes. And you can really see that right here. And since all of these characters are the same, this is why Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg also look very similar as well. And there's so many comparisons of this online. You know, they've literally admitted this one many times. Everyone should know about this one by now. As you can see, they have the same side profile right here. And they have the same nose as well, and the same smile. So this one is very easy to see. The only difference is the eyes. Mark Wahlberg has Jim Carrey's eyes, and Matt Damon has John Cena's eyes. And both of these characters have a movie with a very similar cover. As you can see, both of these movie covers look very similar, and they're both wearing a hat. And both of these characters are basically the same age. Matt Damon is 53. And Mark Wahlberg is 52, and they're basically the same age because Matt Damon is only 8 months older than Mark Wahlberg. And if you notice, they almost have the same exact names. Mark and Matt are both 4 letters, and they both start with M-A. And this is a huge connection because they're both from M-A, which is an abbreviation for Massachusetts. So that's crazy how they both share the letters M and A in their name, and they're both from Massachusetts, which is M-A. You know, what are the chances of that? As you can see, Mark is from Massachusetts, and Matt is also born in Massachusetts. And to top it off, even John Cena was born in Massachusetts. So all 3 of these characters are from the same place, and they all look alike. They really put that one in plain sight. And Matt Damon doesn't have an official account on Instagram. This was the only public page I could find of Matt Damon. And according to him, this is not his official page. He only has a private page, which I'll talk about in a bit. But this is the biggest page I could find of Matt Damon. And even though they don't claim that they're a fan page, that's basically what most people will assume this is. But honestly, I believe that they actually run majority of their fan pages. And they try to act like it's a random person running the account, but it's actually them behind it. Like for example, this Matt Damon official page is not verified, but it has 106,000 followers, and it doesn't even claim to be a fan page. It just has his full name in the bio. So in my opinion, I believe this is actually them running these accounts, and they try to make it seem like it's a fan doing it so that they can seem humble, like they don't have social media. But in reality, this is still them. So a connection I found with this page is the fact that this page follows John Cena, and it also follows Mark Wahlberg, which are his 2 other characters. And if you notice, this page is following 83 people. So one of these characters might fake their death because murder equals 83 in gematria. So according to Matt Damon, this is his only official page on Instagram, and it's called Oh Damn Matt. And I noticed the interesting detail. This page only has 76 followers, and Jim Carrey's full name equals 76 in gematria. So that's a huge connection because both of these characters are in the same group of characters. And also 7 plus 6 is 13, And I just talked about the number 13 a lot. And Matt Damon is connected to Jim Carrey because John Cena is Jim Carrey and Matt Damon mixed. This is why they all look alike. Mark Wahlberg and Matt Damon have many videos admitting that they're the same. As you can see, Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg look so much alike that they came to the agreement that they'd just go along with it when fans got them confused. So basically, there's a lot of fans that come up to Mark Wahlberg thinking he's Matt Damon because they look exactly alike, and he just goes along with it and says he's Matt Damon. And then Matt Damon gets a lot of fans that come up to him thinking that he's Mark, and he just goes along with it as well. So here's 7 videos of Matt Damon and Mark admitting that they're the same. Check this out.
Do people ever mistake you for somebody else? Because there's that thing, I guess, where you're out and about and people see you and think, I know him. Do they ever come up and say?
Yeah, all the time. I get Mark Wahlberg a lot.
It's good.
And I've talked to Mark about it because he gets me. Like, people will come up and say, I love you in the Bourne Identity. So Mark and I have a deal. If we're mistaken for one another, we have to be as polite as possible. Because
have you ever signed an autograph as Mark Wahlberg?
Oh, yeah. No, and you just have to be as nice as possible. And if they keep the thing going, you have to keep it going. So you...
Which of your films, Mark, do people come up to you and mention the most?
People call me, you know, they always say they love me in the Bourne Identity. When I'm saying, and I just say thank you. You know?
No, they don't. Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, and Matt always gets it all the time too. You know, he says they always say, you know, talk about I loved you in Ted or one of these other movies that I've done, and you know, we just kind of laugh it off. And I never correct anybody. You don't correct. I just say thank you very much. Got another one coming. I actually watch me in the Bourne Identity for this summer. Check it out.
Matt Damon was here last week. We love him. We know he's a great guy, always ready to mingle with his fans. 2 women found that out earlier this week when they got pictures with Matt Damon. Only it wasn't Matt Damon. Ooh. Take a look. It was Mark Wahlberg. Oh. The women eagerly sent their pictures to a friend who then let them know they were mistaken. They had the wrong movie star. But Wahlberg was a good sport playing along, and he pretended to be Matt Damon. On Facebook, Wahlberg wrote, close enough. And there is, you know, some similarity. They both have a nice smile.
That's about it. The smile.
Both of them guys.
Yeah, we know that we met someone famous.
Yes.
Right. Like, leave it at that.
Exactly.
This guy came in here told me I look like Mark Wahlberg, which...
We're grilling Mark Wahlberg about his celebrity doppelganger.
When was the last time someone mistook you for Matt Damon?
Well, now people just do it to bust my chops. You know, if it happens, I don't try to correct people.
They're like, I love you in Bourne, and you're like,
thank you.
So Mark and I actually have a deal that whenever we get mistaken for each other, we have to be polite and kind.
It turns out it's not Mark Wahlberg. No. It's fine. But it's still a bit awkward because I love Mark Wahlberg shirt on.
I bet he appreciates that. You know, I mean, he'll still appreciate it. Yeah, I could tell him.
So they've admitted this one many times. Everyone should know about this one by now. Now let's move on to the next character that they created, which is Ike Barinholtz. This actor was created based off of Mark. So what they do is they created Mark based off of Jim Carrey, and then they created this character Ike based off of Mark. So this is what they do to give the illusion of different people. So as you can see, Ike Barinholtz and Mark look exactly alike. This one is very easy to see. They literally have the same smile and the same eyes. And Ike is connected to John Cena as well because all of these characters are in the same group of characters. So Ike Barinholtz was born in 1977 and John Cena was also born in 1977. And last but not least, the last character I want to expose is Channing Tatum because they created Channing Tatum based off of John Cena. So it's like what I said, they created John Cena based off of Jim Carrey, and then they create this new character, Channing Tatum, based off of John Cena. So this is how they keep the cycle going, and it's very obvious because these two characters look so much alike, and they always base them off of 2 different characters so that it could seem like a new person, because Channing Tatum is also based off of Forrest Griffin, and Devon Sade made a good video about this 2 years ago. I'll put a link to that video in the description, because Forrest Griffin literally admitted that he's Channing Tatum, and ironically, Forrest Griffin is a UFC fighter and John Cena is a WWE fighter. So they created Channing Tatum based off of 2 fighters. And to top it off, Channing Tatum even has a movie called Fighting. So it's all in plain sight. Last thing I want to talk about is how fake John Cena's body is. All you have to do is look at these weird fake veins on his body. It's so obvious that he's fake, because look at how fake his veins are right here. I'll zoom into his shoulder because this vein in particular looks completely fake. So I don't understand why people support these people and idolize them when they're obviously fake. Here's another picture of John Cena with this weird vein that he has on his shoulder. And here's another funny picture where John Cena literally looks like a character, and they made so many jokes about it because he does not look real in this picture. And I found this video where a guy found John Cena on the street and he was recording him, and John Cena was talking and defending himself, and he put his hand on his chest, and look at how fake his hand looks. That's pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to drop a like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications, subscribe to my Patreon. It's the top link in the description. Thank you all so much for your support. And here's the video of John Cena and his weird arm. And then I'll show you a video of John Cena admitting that all sports are fake.
If you need anything, just let me know. I'm a good guy. Yeah.
Just ask.
Okay.
You're going to use this without my permission. You're going to use all of this without my permission.
No, but
you didn't ask to shoot. You're still filming. I appreciate it. Be respectful.
All right, but
why did ESPN get a host from the WWE? I mean, it's rigged. Did I just spoil the surprise for some of the people? It's scripted entertainment. What we do is fake, right? So I know what you're thinking. Me hosting the ESPYs, that's crazy. Or is it genius? It's time to take a look at yourself, sports, and realize that you're more like the WWE than you have ever imagined. I'm going to start with the NBA. Cleveland won something. That's actually impossible. There is no way that that wasn't scripted. Especially when you look at the whole story. Okay, LeBron. You used to be a good guy.